I hope the introduction to natural resources made you understand resources on the earth, about the air, the role of the atmosphere in climate control, and also about the winds. Students, now in this video, you are going to learn very good information about the formation of rain, snow, sleet, and hail. You would know about processes like condensation, precipitation, evaporation and transpiration, and the main important thing which everyone should know is about air pollution and water pollution. Let us start with the keywords. Keywords: depression, fossil fuels, combustion, eutrophication, ice caps, allergy. Concept map 1 on water. Concept map 2 on air. Learning objectives. By the end of this video, you will gain good knowledge on water cycle, air pollution, and also why water is called as a wonder liquid. Before watching this rain, let us understand the role of the water cycle in forming rains. When water bodies are heated during the day, a large amount of water evaporates and goes into the air. Some amount of water vapor also gets into the atmosphere because of various biological activities. This air also gets heated. The hot air rises carrying the water vapor with it. As the air rises, it expands and cools. This cooling causes the water vapor in the air to condense in the form of tiny droplets. Condense? What is meant by that? The process by which water forms clouds in the sky is called condensation. This condensation of water is facilitated if some particles can act as the nucleus for these drops to form around. Typically, dust and other suspended particles in the air perform this function. Once the water droplets are formed, they grow more significantly by the condensation of these water droplets. When the drops have grown big and heavy, they fall in the form of rain. Sometimes, when the temperature of the air is low enough, precipitation may occur in the form of snow, sleet, or hail. What would be the direction of the rainfall? Rainfall patterns are decided by the prevailing wind patterns. In large parts of India, rains are mostly brought by the southwest or northeast monsoons. We have also heard weather reports that say depression in the Bay of Bengal have caused rains in some areas. Just focus on the following topic: how this air is getting polluted and plays a role in spreading various problems in this human world. When it comes to the topic air pollution, we keep hearing of the increasing levels of oxides of nitrogen and sulfur in the news. People often feel bad listening to the fact that the quality of air has gone down since their childhood. Let us see the reason. Fossil fuels like coal and petroleum contain small amounts of nitrogen and sulfur. When these fuels are burnt, the nitrogen and sulfur in the fuels form different oxides. Not only is the inhalation of these gases dangerous, but they also dissolve in rain to give rise to acid rain. The combustion of fossil fuels also increases the amount of suspended particles in the air. These suspended particles could be unburnt carbon particles or substances called hydrocarbons. The presence of high levels of all these pollutants causes visibility to be lowered, especially in cold weather, when water also condenses out of the air. This is known as smog, and is a visible indication of air pollution. Studies have shown that regularly breathing air that contains any of these substances increases the incidence of allergies, skin diseases, cancer, and heart diseases. An increase in the content of these harmful substances in the air are called air pollution. Let's watch about water, a wonder liquid. Water occupies a very large area of the Earth's surface and is also found underground. Some amount of water exists in the form of water vapor in the atmosphere. Most of the water on Earth's surface is found in seas and oceans and is saline. Fresh water is found frozen in the ice caps at the two poles. And on snow-covered mountains. The underground water and the water in rivers, lakes and ponds are also fresh. However, the availability of fresh water varies from place to place. Practically every summer, most places have to face a shortage of water, and especially in rural areas where water supply systems have not been installed. People are forced to spend considerable amounts of time in fetching water from faraway sources. The availability of water decides not only the number of individuals of each species that can survive in a particular area, but also the diversity of life there. Of course, the availability of water is not the factor alone that decides the sustainability of life in a region. Other factors like the temperature and nature of soil also matter. But water is one of the major resources which determine life on land. Water pollution. Water dissolves the fertilizers and pesticides that we use on our farms. So, some percentage of these substances are washed into the water bodies. Sewage from our towns and cities and the waste from factories are also dumped into rivers or lakes. Specific industries also use water for cooling in various operations and later return this hot water to water bodies. Another manner in which the temperature of the water in rivers can be affected is when water is released from dams. The water inside the deep reservoir would be colder than the water at the surface, which gets heated by the sun. All this can affect the life forms that are found in these water bodies in various ways. It can encourage the growth of some life forms and harm some other life forms. This affects the balance between various organisms that had been established in that system. So, we use the term water pollution to cover the following effects: the addition of undesirable substances to water bodies like fertilizers and pesticides used in farming, poisonous substances like mercury salt, which are used by paper industries, the disease-causing organisms like the bacteria which cause cholera. Dissolved oxygen is used by the animals and plants that live in water. The removal of desirable substances like dissolved oxygen from water bodies would adversely affect these aquatic organisms. Other nutrients could also be depleted from the water bodies. Aquatic organisms are comfortable with a certain range of temperatures in the water body where they live, and a suddenly marked change in this temperature of water would be dangerous or affect breeding in aquatic organisms. The eggs and larvae of various animals are particularly susceptible to temperature changes. Points to remember: an increase in the content of harmful substances in air is called air pollution. The addition of undesirable substances to water bodies cause water pollution.